Hello everyone, welcome to Tahr Talks. I am Prisha Agrawal, a grade 11 student at Good Shepherd International School.
And I'm Reenav Shah, also a grade 11 student here.
Tahr Talks is a student-led initiative, a podcast with a new episode every Wednesday morning. What started as a simple interest in me, founded during the COVID-19 pandemic, of course, when I found it to be so interesting to just sit on my bed and paint while listening to all sorts of podcasts, is now practically my whole personality. When I say podcasting is so important to me, I truly mean it. As the leader and founder of Tahr Talks, it is my honor to present to you Season 1.
Unlike Prisha, in COVID, I actually used to play just games and just see movies, not listen to podcasts. Actually, when Prisha came to me with this idea, I was actually in the art team. So she gave a initiative for one of us to be the host. In the first, I thought that I should not be one, because what's the point? But then when I gave the audition, I didn't know any topic for, just to clarify.
Exactly. I asked him to speak on World War II and he asked me, what will I speak on?
Exactly. So I didn't know. So I thought, let's do this. It'll be a self growth too.
And now that we finally have Reenam as a host and we have Tahr Talks in place, whether it be politics, history, science, or economics, it is our aim to share with you the most important stories from around the world. Our audience, whether it be one of you from the school community or someone from any part of the world, it is our combined quest with you for knowledge.
Oh my God, stop boring them. What is knowledge, firstly?
So, according to the dictionary, the information, understanding, and skills that you gain through education or experience are knowledge.
Don't give me the definition. What's the point? You should explain it properly, why do you even seek knowledge? What's the point?
I can quote this one so well. Why do we seek knowledge? Well, the answer to this is found in one of my most favorite movies ever, The Dead Poets Society. For those of you movie nerds out there who know about it, this is the quote.
We did a Automas play on this.
Dead Poets
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good one. This ending was good.
Exactly. So, Dead Poets Society, let me go back to my quote.
Okay.
It is, we don't read and write poetry because it's cute. We read and write poetry because we are a part of the human race. And the human race is filled with passion. And medicine, law, business, engineering, these are noble pursuits. And it's simply empty land. We're working, you need romance, love. And what we stay alive for. We seek knowledge because knowledge is what truly helps us think and makes us capable of knowing what life will actually be like 20 years from now. Knowledge is not just about what you learn in class or what you know. Knowledge is more than just the definition I told you. Reenav, when I say this, I truly mean it. Knowledge is the understanding of what the world around us is truly like.
Actually, this will help in TOK too. Why do you even seek knowledge? That's such a
Why
good
do we even
question.
seek
Yeah.
knowledge? For all the DP students watching this, I'm hoping that, this helps you answer some of your TOK questions too. And honestly, when I think of knowledge, what I think of is that having knowledge of the world around us helps us do a very simple thing. It helps us actually understand what the world is going to be like 20 years from now. So wait, let me ask you if you know about this. Do you know what unit tree is?
No, not at all.
So, well, expected reaction. Trust me, I didn't know a lot about unit tree either till I, was looking up AI and technological revolutions a couple of months ago. So, Unitree is this Chinese-based company, and they have created two things right now. They have created an all-terrain dog robot. So, basically, a robot resembles a dog, works like a dog, can work on all terrains with 4 wheels. And their first universal humanoid robot is said to be capable enough of replacing factory workers.
That's going to be bad for them. I feel sad. Their jobs will go.
Oh, exactly. Why? Right? Because when I talk about these humanoid robots which Unitree is working on, the very first thing which comes to any of our minds is that factory workers are going to be replaced. Their jobs are going to go. But then, doesn't that make you think that this change is so inevitable? Like 20 years from now, there is no way that this is not going to be in place. Wait, can you guess how much this robot costs?
Let's say around 50 lakh or something. Around.
Okay, let me give you a value in US dollars. This robot costs 16,000 US dollars. To convert it to INR in the most rough sense possible, it's 16 lakhs. Do you think that's a lot of money?
Yeah.
Good. That is a lot of money. I'm so glad you didn't reply with saying no. Because 16,000 US dollars is a lot of money. But let me ask you another question. How much do you think an average employer spends on a factory worker every year?
Every year.
Yes.
More than 16 lakh, obviously, because the salary is included.
65,000 US dollars.
That's
okay. Okay, while that does feel like that's it value on the surface of it, I need you to realize the fact that this 65,000 US dollars includes all the company sponsored vacations. It takes all the paid leaves. It takes all the monetary leaves. It talks about all the, maximum number of shifts one can work per month or per week. But this robot, which costs seemingly a huge sum of 16,000 US dollars, needs no breaks, needs no vacations, and needs no paid leave.
What about the charging?
All it
Or
needs is
electricity bills?
maintenance and electricity bills. But do you think that poor robot, when you're only actually paying 60,000 US dollars, maintenance and electricity bills will go up to 65,000 US dollars?
That's true.
Exactly. So, Unitree, the robot which they have come up with, is at some point or the other within the next few decades gonna replace factory workers. But what is going to happen to the factory workers?
And maybe their skills can be used somewhere else
Their skills can.
in maintaining the robot, in the sense. Like, that won't pay a lot or won't help so much, but their skills might be valuable.
So basically, what I'm understanding right now is that if these robots were to come in, what would happen is a degradation of the jobs worked by the factory workers.
Yes.
But you know what is the one way to prevent this? Like this is going to be a circle moment to my nerd point again. The only way to prevent this is by attaining knowledge. See, factory workers are the lower
Yeah, they'll have the experience, exactly. And the
Exactly.
robots won't.
Experience and skills through education and experience. This is something which no robot can gain as fast as a human. Well, sure, robots can evolve. They can take knowledge and understand too. They can, they can understand, process data, analyze data to become better. No one can do it at the speed humans who develop these robots can. So, coming back to my original point, why I believe knowledge is truly important is because 20 years from now, when robots do end up replacing all factory worker jobs, factory workers have enough knowledge in fields of AI and technology to ensure that they are the ones in control of this AI robot and they are still in charge.
Actually, don't judge, but then during prep, we tried this one little thing and we went to Perplexity AI and we typed in what is 1+1. And obviously, the answer is 2. So we told them, no, it's not. It's actually 1. And the next time we asked it, it gave us 1.
This brings me to my next point. When we talk about knowledge, are we only talking about knowledge as a whole, or are we talking about authentic and accurate knowledge? Because AI, all forms of AI, especially GPT AIs which are fed on the web, they get all of their knowledge and data from what is on the web.
Exactly, yeah.
But how do we know that all the information which is on the web is actually accurate and correct? So, if AI is going to evolve with the kind of knowledge we find online, is it going to evolve in the correct direction? Like, going back to Perplexity, because I feel like Perplexity is one of my favorite AIs in the school. I was preparing for a debate a couple of weeks ago, and I needed a lot of data for that. So, instead of going through JSTOR, going through all of these different research sites, ResearchGate, to find data, what I thought would be easier to do was to go to Perplexity and ask Perplexity to find data for me. Then I thought I could just simply go to the sources Perplexity used and find my more accurate data. So when I actually went into the data given to me by Perplexity and I tried to, research on what is good, what's not, what I can use, I realized that if I were given 10 facts, at least 8 of those 10 facts were false.
Even in the sources, if you click on it, it can sometimes show page not found, error 404.
Exactly.
They just take data out of nowhere. And in chem class, I don't want to say this, but in chem class, there was these electron shells and they were named KLMN.
Yeah.
So the actual point, they were named because the energy level is the highest in K. That's why it's named K first. But Perplexity gave me an answer because the Niels Bohr actually didn't want ABCD because it's universal.
Yeah.
He wanted KLMN, but that's not the point.
I really hope your chemistry teacher is not listening to this right now, but thanks to that confession, Reena, helps us understand the different issues with AI right now. And, it is when I actually sit to differentiate between AI and humans, I see one difference in the kind of knowledge we have and the way we apply that knowledge. And that is thought.
What is a thought? Like, what's the definition? How do you express thought?
You asked for the definition this time. So the dictionary definition for thought is an idea or opinion by thinking or occurring suddenly in the mind.
Okay.
So a thought is anything. So when you perceive the world around you, when you have certain things in your mind, what comes of those, the idea or opinion produced by that is basically what thought is. And the reason I believe thought is so important is because even if you have knowledge, even if you have all the data and information, it is not possible without thought to actually put those into use. There is no change that can occur without thought. Thought is what truly defines, what our actions are going to be.
I feel thought will guide you with the knowledge. Like thought will give you a perspective, and thought will lead you in that way. If you don't have a thought, what's the point?
Exactly. I'm going to nerd out again and I'm going to go back to another quote
No,
from
don't go about the first episode.
no, we need another quote from Dead Poet Society. No matter what anybody tells you, words and ideas can change the world. It is this simple thing which truly makes you think that when you have that thought, when you have the words in your head, or when you have the ideas that are developed because of your thoughts, you truly hold the power to change the world.
That is true. Exactly. The first step is the idea.
Enough, because I just told this quote to you, where else do you think very recently, because of the recent events in our school, where else do you think you heard a very similar statement?
In the TEDx event we just had.
In the TEDx event we just had. I'm so glad you got that. So TEDx,
That dumb, okay. Like little smart.
so TEDx very recently did change their slogan from ideas worth sharing to ideas change everything. And TED being such a global platform, if TED has adapted to this ideology, it truly makes all of us, the audience, you, me, and everyone in this school who so recently had a TEDx event, reflect on ideas do truly hold power, which is exactly why every year through TED, through TEDx, we have millions of people worldwide sharing their ideas.
The most interesting one was the stem cells one. Like,
Me-
oh, yeah.
Yes. So, for those listening to this right now, our school, Good Shepherd International, very recently had a TEDx event in which one of our speakers, Ms. Rupal Vyas, she spoke about stem cells and the way stem cells can truly be applied to, science and healthcare later soon. So, when we look at stem cells, we think of basic multipotency, totipotency, and we think of all of our bio class lessons. But, and as a bio student myself, by the way, I'm but basically, okay, summarizing it, what we understood through her TED talk was that even though stem cells feel like such a complicated idea and technology, stem cells can be used in everyday healthcare to make simple healing processes like ligament tears so much better.
Even it cures autism and the thing in the, like, it fills the, if you don't have hair.
Neuroplasticity.
Yeah, even neuroplasticity.
Going back to the autism point, it's been proven, and this is so interesting to me, that because there's so much conversation about vaccines and its correlation with neuroplasticity and autism, to think about how stem cells, some basic cells which are found in the embryonic stage, which are found in adults, can actually help with one's neuroplasticity is so fascinating to me.
Even when a mother's pregnant, after the baby is delivered, the placenta and the mother's thing, some people actually remove the placenta and they store the cells because those cells are actually stem cells. And they eat
Exactly.
it, and some people, don't judge, but some people eat it.
The
Eat the
nutrient
placenta.
repair. Yeah.
Exactly.
See, now that's a completely different debate. Something I would love to cover actually. Whether eating the placenta is right. I mean, we know it is for to gain those nutrients.
I don't want to.
But that is exactly what thought knowledge is about, to actually have conversations which are uncomfortable with us so that we think. Like right now, if I were to ask you about your opinions on placenta, they would be different. And if we were to actually have a session about placenta and talk about what's the point of eating placenta, maybe you'll have a different opinion. Exactly. Okay, hopefully, even if I'm boring enough to death, let's hope our audience is not getting bored to death. Exactly.
That's the point. We learned something.
We learned something, and going back to my original point, while learning something, we gain knowledge. This knowledge helps us think, and thought has the power to change.
Exactly the point of Tahr.
So, we're focusing on our 7 fields of knowledge, which are, let me talk about the first 3, you'll talk about the rest form:
Okay.
health, politics, and sports. And,
Can I do sports?
okay, he wants to do sports. Then we have economics, business.
Business, entertainment, and technology.
So, health. As a complete science nerd myself, as someone who's wanted to become a doctor for the last 5 years, it is so fascinating to see, the kind of directions healthcare is heading in right now. Whether it be remote surgery or gene editing technologies like CRISPR-Cas9, health, I believe, is so relevant and true to every single one of us. Something which I genuinely think many of us realized during the COVID-19 pandemic.
Actually, I was actually so scared because one of my friends got COVID that time. I actually used to like call him every day and check up on him, and he was like brutally tell me he's like not fine and he needs something. Like it was paining, and
Exactly. I feel like the COVID-19 pandemic was the first time all of us were confronted with the reality of healthcare being a genuine issue for all of us and not just those involved in medicine. And I believe that being able to cover important aspects of healthcare,
Yeah.
as I mentioned, surgery,
And not
technology.
just physical, even mental health is the important role.
Exactly. Mental health. Honestly, why we have so much focus on the COVID-19 pandemic, the mental health pandemic of the last decade has been so severely ignored in mainstream media. And to be discussing that on this podcast, I feel like we could bring about a change.
Let's just tell him a little thing about of the system too, if you're talking about mental
I mean, honestly, now that we're talking about podcast and Tahr Talks, go ahead, check out Off This System, another student-led podcast started in Good Shepherd with both of us on the team. Yeah, so check out Off the System too. You'll get to know a lot about mental health, the way it impacts different populations, and the kind of impact it has on our society as a whole. So, politics.
So politics. Can you tell me what you understand by the term politics firstly?
I feel like this should be a question for the audience. When we use the word politics, what's the first thing that comes to your mind? I mean, for us Indian viewers over here, it could be like a heated, parliament debate between BJP and Congress. Or it could be, like Kangna Ranaut getting slapped on the airport. Is that what truly politics is, though?
So basically, the idea of politics is not Trump getting headshot or like a bleeding ear, but it's the way a nation works, like a community works. How do they work? What do they do to make it work, function properly? What are the stances they take? So the one of the examples is the BRICS Plus, which will become a global institution that will become on the cusp of supplanting the United Nations. So first based on the global south, but then present on the world order, collapses Western nations will be seeking refuge in it. The reserve currency USD will collapse. Actually, it will be a boon for us, for Indians.
Will it though? I mean, to think about it rationally, will the USD collapsing actually be a boon for the Indians?
It might not, but it might be better for us. I feel so it'll be better. Instead of trading in just USD, why not trade in a mutual part? Just make a new currency altogether.
Rina, well, I do get your perspective right now. As Indians, the amount of Indian immigrants in the US who send money, earn money, in in the US back to India in the form of US dollars is also very important for us to consider because we have so much cash inflow coming from the US. So that would be something we would love to consider upon the US dollars collapsing.
The need for trade among nations like BBB or BRI will become imperative as technological change accelerates. And by talking so much about technology, I feel technology is the most major part from 20 years from now if you're looking for.
Exactly, because I mean, all of us at some point or the other, no matter whether we were history students or not, have had to learn about the Industrial Revolution. What happened during the Industrial Revolution? It was an epitome filled
Good
with.
you answered. I didn't know.
It is filled with human exploitation. There were labor law issues. The entire, the entire concept of labor law starts from the Industrial Revolution. And that basically shows the impact of such revolutions on the human population. And we are in the cusp of a technological revolution right now. What about cusp? Honestly, we are in it. We're in the middle of a full-blown technological revolution. And we are the youth in it. And if we are not able to adapt to what the world is going to be like, we are going to be those who are impacted by it the most.
Let me add a point to that. The advent of robotic AI will also be exponentially expand as fewer humans will be able to, and needed for production as service jobs. This is both humanoid and non-humanoid. Exactly. And there will be a drift of to lower retirement rates as we discussed in the first part of the podcast.
Exactly. And, honestly, this is something which I genuinely believe we need to start discussing. If it is the the middle-aged population right now, people from their 30s to 60s, who are the ones who are gaining experience, who are the ones who are gaining this knowledge towards how to, work technology, then what also will happen through this technological revolution is that to generate a certain amount of income to be able to retire comfortably, they will have to work longer. If they will have to work longer, that means that they will fill in job positions longer than expected. Meaning that when we, you and me, and I'm sure like so many viewers right now, enter the job market, we will not have jobs left for us.
True. And now let's not yap so much about this. This can be like a whole new segment.
Yeah, this should be a whole new
Exactly.
segment.
Yeah. Let's move on to sports. Let's move on to something interesting. It won't bore you all. So, sports. Do you think technology can change the way we play sports? Ever?
I've never thought of it.
Exactly. I don't have an answer. I think not.
Well, I mean, something to think about. Can technology affect sports? What do you guys think? Wait, I want to know about this. So let us know about this in the comments.
Okay, fine. What else can we delve into for sports? What else do you want the viewers to know?
This is something which I personally find to be, this is again me, putting all the social implication of
Nerd,
the
yeah.
sports, nerding sports out. But I have personally never honestly been interested in sports teams. So I have had the third person opportunity to observe those who are interested in sports teams. So you take Formula One, for example, because I feel like I know them, yeah, closer to the worst about that. So I'll give you two teams. You look at Ferrari and you look at Mercedes. So we have these two teams in place, and we have people who
Not
support.
Red Bull. People will come at you for that.
Okay, Ferrari and Red Bull, right? I don't know. So you look at these two teams, and you look at the people who support these teams. Okay, true diehard fans of F1.
Yeah.
So they will make these teams their full personalities. They will support the players. They will support the drivers. They will, watch every single Grand Prix, and so they basically let themselves be involved and surrounded by what's happening in these sports teams.
F1, yeah.
So, do you think if one of these teams were to go against the other, if one of these teams were being very competitive, would the supporting people of these teams
That is
exactly?
Have you seen IPL?
Have you seen IPL? You don't even have to be interested in sports to know what happens during the IPL, and that really makes
We fight. We fight.
so that really makes me question what power do such competitive sporting and sport teams hold over people and communities?
I feel like we'll research on this and we'll get back to them with the whole news.
Exactly.
Only sports,
Of only sports. I would love to nerd sports out too, though. So that's going to be very interesting. So then we have economics and business.
Okay, so economics and business. I'm actually a science student from 9th
We're
and
both
10th.
science students. But then, this is the thing. Economics and business are such predominantly commerce subjects, especially as students. How many of you associate those two words with commerce?
The DL class we just had of the human science and natural science, the level of position.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, let's start by saying this. Over here, despite of what TOK tries to teach us, human science and natural science should be at one level.
True, but then for all of us, like the whole community, natural science is above. I don't know what's the reason for it actually, but then it
I
shouldn't
feel
be like that.
No, I feel like this is another one of those societal notions, especially in an Indian society, which we have, which just holds natural sciences to be so much more rigorous and so much more difficult to comprehend. But as a science student myself, let me tell you, I'm a science student because I was not able to do economics. But, focusing on economics and business for 2 more minutes, the reason I believe it is so important to have both of them over here as our topics is because all of us are soon going to enter the job market. We're going to enter, we're going to be investors. Some of us are going to be angel investors.
Right now, there's a craze of Investopedia. I'm not even...
Exactly. Like,
shares and everything.
even as science students, we're able to mention that.
So
it must be,
interesting.
yeah. And we are going to directly be impacted by this very soon. And it is our responsibility to ensure that we are able to survive in the world.
Look,
So,
I'm telling you, battery is low. I think they are also low right now because of us yapping.
so you want us to move on to the next topic or
Yes.
entertainment?
Guys, look, I can entertain you all for like hours, okay? But let Prisha get this.
So-
Let's see if we can believe it.
Just because Zeenav mentioned that, let's start by saying podcasts are a form of entertainment. Now, what is the societal implication of having such form of entertainment?
It's not yapping, it's just getting to know some more extra information.
Exactly.
Except reading it, you can listen to it.
Like, if you guys were listening to us in the beginning, what is the point of having a podcast altogether? To bring change, to ensure that you have a change in the way you think, you address our 7 fields of knowledge. And this is what entertainment does. Entertainment is more than just what keeps us entertained, even though that is what the meaning of the word is. It is quite literally what can decide how we feel and react towards certain topics. Can I give you an example for this? Another one of my favorite nerd out movies. Have you watched My Name is Khan?
My name is Khan. I've heard about it, but I didn't have watched
He
it.
has not watched My Name is Khan.
What can I...
Okay, so My Name is Khan is a movie by, of course, Shah Rukh Khan.
That's why you watched it. I know that's why you watched it.
That is,
Exactly.
I'm not even denying it. But the thing about the movie is, so what happens in the movie is it follows the lives of a small Muslim family living in the United States right after the Twin Tower attacks. And of course, our main character, Shah Rukh Khan's character, is also autistic. And no spoilers for anyone. Please watch this movie. But if you think I'm spoiling it for you, skip maybe 10-15 seconds. What happens in this movie is that followed right after the Twin Tower attacks, his stepson, who has his last name Khan, is assaulted and murdered by his classmates.
Why did you give me the spoiler? What if I wanted to watch it?
Okay, well, you can still watch it. You know, Shah Rukh Khan, never boring. But what happens, what this movie truly makes you think about is that how is it that a huge event like the Twin Towers impacts a small immigrant family living in the middle of the US? So we see how Shah Rukh Khan's character tries to find this answer by wanting to go and meet the President of the United States and his journey and struggles going towards it as an autistic person himself.
Do you know about the conspiracy theories against Twin Towers? We can actually do a segment on that.
You know, and because you brought up conspiracy theories against Twin Towers, I would like to, just take a moment over here to acknowledge the kind of role entertainment plays towards that. How many times is it that you were scrolling through Reddit, a form of entertainment, and you came across a whole conspiracy theory page telling you that Twin Towers never happened?
You know, actually during our boards time, during English class, we used to watch Fing for conspiracy theories. It was so much.
I won't ask him how much he got in his English words, but
I got good enough. Okay, I got good enough.
I actually don't know, so I hope you got good enough.
I got good
So
enough.
the
Let's leave it at that.
entertainment works over here. But going back to my original point, entertainment is more than just a form of joy or pleasure. Through media sources such as movies, television shows, podcasts, songs even, one can actually decide how their audience feels and reacts. How many times has it been that on the internet some rapper has been condemned for talking positively about issues such as rape or drugs in their songs? Exactly. Like that being a form, like as much as I would, I would never say anything wrong about a form of art. But what I would say over here is that, that being a form of entertainment does truly play, sort of impact on its audience. Take my class, for example, and it makes me wonder that what is the true power of entertainment? Is entertainment truly just to watch a TV show or to actually, think about what they're talking about too? Let me give you an example. You know Emily in Paris, right?
Yeah. I watched. Okay, I watched that.
Yeah, Reena knows about Emily in
Yeah.
Paris. Thank God. So I would like to ask you, how many of you romanticize the idea of Paris in your head because of Emily in Paris?
I don't want to say it.
So many of you. I'm sure Reena's sitting over here too. But now I would ask you another follow-up question. How many of you visited Paris after that? Only to realize that maybe the city is not as great as our whitewashed character Emily thought it
You know
was.
what? I actually want to visit Paris. Just because I'm French, I want to go.
Just because he's French B. Just a subtle flex of being French B. And then real life, I too am French B. And let me tell you, Paris, as country I very frequently visit, is not the best place. It's,
I've heard about it.
yeah,
Heard about it.
like, sure, we've got, City of Love aspect, we've got the Eiffel Tower, we've got the Louvre, but what is there to Paris other than that? A bunch of street smugglers and people are trying to sell you overpriced keychains.
Just imagine the people just come and take it out of your pocket, just run away. Oh my god.
Not imagine, that's the reality for so many people who visit Paris after being influenced by Emily in Paris.
I feel like we should end this by leaving in a thought. Like, let's leave them at a thought. So they'll come back for the next episode.
Okay, this is what this is like the pressure, nerd aspect of it, to like ask you guys, what is the importance of knowledge and thought according to you? And how does having this knowledge and thought truly affect our opinions? Our opinions, just a reminder to everyone, are not just what are in our head. Our opinions truly impact our actions, our decisions, and our choices towards other individuals, communities, and the topics around the world.
Ooh. Now think about that.
And starting in before we close, this is why we have this podcast in place. Through our seven fields of knowledge, our aim over here is to help you, our audience, whether you be from our school community or from any part of the world, to actually know what's going on in the globe.
I should know. Like, I'll get through.
Exactly. This is not just a journey of conquesting knowledge for our audience. I believe this is one for us too as hosts and members of this team. When we are truly able to research on such topics and put them forth, we too will, develop more as people and individuals ourselves. With the right knowledge, we hope to make the right decisions. And thus we are presenting to you Tahr Talks.
Let's go, guys. Let's get this done.
Yeah, so thank you so much, and stay tuned for next season, the first formal episode of this season, which will be coming out shortly in November.
I feel like the intro is too long, but let's go. Let's do this. I promise all episodes won't be this long.
Yeah.
Make this
So
clear for them.
every look out for this Wednesday morning, and this is going to be a very quick morning podcast for all of you. Will not go over 10 to 15 minutes, so that a very quick thing, maybe walking to your university class in the morning or driving to work, or for us students even wanting to take a break from morning prep.
Instead of music, we can have this.
Instead of music, as much as I love music and I support music, this is a good way to start your morning. Start your morning with thought.
Thank you guys.
So thank you so much.